What is up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another Genshin Impact YouTube video. So today we're going to be speaking about skip or summon for 4.1. Now, I know we have Weasley and we have the Venti banners in the second half, but I'll be mainly focusing on the first half with Neuvillette and HUTAO. Now, we have Neuvillette, who is going to be a Hydra on-field DPS. He is a Catalyst user and he is also on the same banner with HUTAO. Now, Neuvillette has got some good things and he's got some bad things. Now, starting off with the bad things, the problems with Neuvillette that you're going to experience as a free-to-play, if you do choose to get him, is you need to understand that a 5-star weapon is going to do more damage and allow your character to do more damage and just in general have a better passive. If you don't have a 5-star weapon or they're better in slots, you will have to find a free-to-play 4-star option. You might have to use the Favonius, you might have to use the Sacrificial, but they're not going to be the greatest, so you're focusing on more or less the Winzip, if that's what you're going to go for, or any of the 4-star Fontaine craftable weapons that are available at the moment from the blacksmith. Now, the thing is, Neuvillette is also going to have a bit of an issue with interruption resistance. Now, you might be like, what do you mean by that? Well, Neuvillette as a character, he focuses on his charge attacks because he scales via HP. His attack scale via HP, similar to Yelan. Now, the issue with Neuvillette is that even though you can move using his charge attacks, you don't have a crazy amount of range and space regards to his charge attack, and you can't move everywhere. You can move a little bit, but it's not a lot. Now, the issue with that is, do you go for Neuvillette's C1, which focuses on interruption resistance and helping him be able to not get staggered or get hit back by enemies so he takes any further damage, or do you summon for the Hydra Archon and possibly get her C2, which helps buff interruption resistance and damage, as well as healing characters within the short space of time of using her burst? Now, the thing is, you might be like, well, I don't really want to go for Neuvillette C1 because I know his interruption resistance is a bit of an issue, and I mean, I can move around, or you need a shielder. Now, the thing is, we have very limited shielders in the game. We have Zhongli, but you don't want to use Geo with Hydra because we don't actually have any good reactions. Crystallize isn't very good at all. Now, we don't want to use ourselves a Diona, but you could use a Diona if you want to, but freeze teams aren't really the go-to for Neuvillette. It's mainly Bloom and Hyper Bloom in my opinion. Now, the thing is, and the only possible way you could possibly get yourself a shield as well as keep up the Dendra application is by having Baiju. Now, if you don't have Baiju, then yes, that can affect you, because we did have Baiju release in the patches prior to 4.0's release. Now, Baiju will likely rerun soon because Lantern Rite is coming up, and I don't know when he'll be releasing or rerunning, but he'll be rerunning soon. Now, the thing is, it's where Hoyoverse puts you into a bit of a trap and makes you summon for a constellation, or it's whether, you get a different character. Now, the pros to Neuvillette, and these are the pros, he is a very strong Hydro DPS. He focuses on his Hydro reactions, as well as the fact that he is going to be very good with the Hydra Archon. Now, you might be saying, well, how do you know he'll be good with the Hydra Archon? There's a common trend where all the characters, especially in the most recent region, Sumeru, that Nihida was a very important unit for a lot of different teams in the entire Sumeru arc. Now, you might be like, well, give me an example of someone who really needed to have Nihida. Nilou was someone who was a must-have if you had Nihida. Nilou was amazing with Nihida. It allowed her kit to work for Bloom teams and allow her to just do the insane damage she does to this day. Now, that is of the assumption that Neuvillette will be really, really dependent on the Hydra Archon, or the Hydra Archon will enable and allow teams to develop and create cool, fun gameplay and nice team comps, and allow you to do some cool reactions within the entire game. If that focuses on Neuvillette with Hydro Archon as well as Baiju or with Nahida. Now, I don't know if Nahida will play a big role with the Hydro Archon, but I do know that Nahida was an example of somebody who really changed it and turned the tables around for all the Hydro and Electro teams in Genshin as a whole. So yes, I believe that the Hydro Archon will have an impact on the game as a whole. I also believe that Neuvillette is going to be very strong regards to his application of Hydro. I know he has his massive Blastoise, Hydro, Kamehameha, Pump, Beam, Laser Cannon, whatever you want to call it. He's going to be very fun. But the thing is that he focuses on his Sourcewater droplets. We've seen this and we're familiar with this because the Hydro Traveler has this in his kit. The Sourcewater droplets used with the Hydro Traveler allows him to regain HP back up to his max HP, whereas Neuvillette, if he is above 50% of his max HP, then he is going to lose HP over time. Now, the thing is with Neuvillette, when you use his E skill, it puts Sourcewater droplets right on the field, and you can immediately start holding his charge attack, and it'll immediately consume the Sourcewater droplets, so you can turn into his charge attack, doing his Kamehameha, Blastoise, Super Laser Beam Cannon, whatever you want to call it, alright? That is what is the real damage dealer, but the problem is, obviously his interruption resistance is a bit low, but it's not Sinnoh low where you get smacked across by a Hilichurl and you die to full damage. It's where, do you go for him or not? I personally think he's going to be a very good main DPS in my opinion, but he will need other units in order to make him work. But we'll find that out when 4.1 releases. Now, HUTAO is a very, very, very fun character to play. It's up to you if you like charge attacks or not. If you don't like charge attacks, then that's fine. HUTAO's not up for you, then go for it. You can skip, you can move on, you can go for someone else. Now, HUTAO, the thing is, with her kit, even though they both focus on charge attacks, Neuvillette and HUTAO, Neuvillette doesn't have a resource. Well, you could say his Sourcewater droplets are his resource, but HUTAO's resource is her stamina. And you'd be like, well, just go for her C1. Now, the thing is, you could be going for C1 HUTAO right now. And I mean, all due respect, if you want to go for that, go ahead. I'm not going to stop you. But you need to understand, as someone who doesn't have HUTAO C1, who's someone who is going for HUTAO, C1 HUTAO doesn't give you more damage. What it does is it gives you more of a resource. You should look at as stamina as a resource for HUTAO. It allows you to do more damage over time rather than doing more damage at the time or in the instance. It allows you to be more efficient with how much damage you're outputting and allows you to do just progressively more damage because you have more of the resource of her stamina, right? You don't do increased damage, you just do it for a longer duration. That's literally it, okay? But the weapon banner is looking really nice. You have his best in slot for Neuvillette. I don't necessarily know if it's crit damage or crit rate. I don't know anything about it, but I do know that weapon banners in the past, for those who have been free to play, I completely say this right now, other than 3.4 when we had HUTAO's weapon and Aqua Simulacra from the Elan's rerun, don't summon on weapon banners. Unless you genuinely need it and you feel like you want it. I'm sorry, I just hate to break it to you, but someone who's swiped so many times on the weapon banners because I've been so greedy and I've had so many 5 stars and 4 stars, and I've wanted to just have the 5-star weapon because I thought it looked cool. Don't summon for weapon banners. It's not needed. It isn't. It's not important. If you have the right teams and you have the right support, supports are more important in this game than it is main DPSs because that allows you to do more damage with your main DPS, and that's how Genshin works. You can go for Neuvillette's weapon, but even if you don't get it, you're still going to get a really good polearm. You're going to get Staff of Homer, and Staff of Homer is really, really strong. Crit damage, insane crit damage, and you can just chuck down anybody. Obviously, the Staff of Scarlet Santa is also a really good polearm, which you can use on a lot of characters. Zhangling, HUTAO, you can even use it, or you can use Pride Jade Spear if you want to as well for the extra crit rate. Now, the thing is, the 4-star weapons on the banner is going to be a hit and miss. The thing is, we have the standard banner already, so you can already get your Favonius weapons, you can already get your sacrificial weapons, you can already get some of the new weapons that are already in the game, but some of the weapons that you have that are very exclusive, or should we say, limited at the time are, like, for example, Zephos Blade. Zephos Blade is really good on Kazuha, but you don't need to have his best in slot weapon on Kazuha, only if you want to make him a really good support, or you use Mistsplitter to make him a DPS if you want to. Now the thing is with Neuvillette and with these brand new characters, we don't know how he'll function or work with brand new 4-star Catalyst, and if he's actually good with 4-star Catalyst. We don't know if he'll be very good regards to any of the 4-star craftables in Fontaine. You will have to do a lot of testing, and I'm sure there's people who will be testing that out. But as a whole, HUTAO, there's already a large variety of things that you can use. You can use a brand new Battle Pass weapon if you want to on her, with the crit rate and also the extra EM, which is brilliant. You can also use Dragon's Bane, which is a fan favorite. And you can also use any of the other pole arms in the game if there are craftables that you can use on HUTAO. If you can go ahead and use the Sumeru craftables or the Fontaine craftables, but preferably you just use Dragon's Bane on her for the extra EM, or you can use a Battle Pass weapon if you're prepared to spend any money on the Battle Pass. Now, the Dock Hand Assistant stored, I believe, is HP percentage. I don't know about the Claymore, but they're fun. It's new weapons. It's something to try out, something to test. Maybe with Lynette, maybe with Navia when she releases. We will find out. Maybe with Dea, who knows? Maybe if we got some more copium for Dea, but we know that Dea C6 is really strong and possibly one of the best pyro DPSs in the game as a support as well. But in general, HUTAO C1 is not a need, but it helps with regards to allowing you to have more resource for stamina. I would genuinely say summon for who you want to. I'm not going to tell you to not summon or to just, you know, do whatever you want. If it's up to you, it's up to you. Overall, I hope you enjoyed this video. It gives you enough information about Neuvillette and enough information about HUTAO. And I wish you all the best of luck with regards to who you're summoning for.